Oh, I think it has begun. I think. Just give me a second here. Oh, that's super delayed. Jeez. Do something a little tighter here on the old upload. Nope. Try again. Streaming at about 080 definition. You got volume? Hello. Not sure if I got volume going. It's not looking good, kids. What is happening? Can you hear me? I think my volume is jacked. I don't know. Okay, you can? Okay. Well, I can't hear me, so. Usually I have to turn the volume up. Oh, maybe it's because I have the Apple TV going. All right, so check it out. Well, that. We got the old, man, how delayed is the stream? 5 minutes? Anyways, out as I break a bunch of stuff. All right. You are loud and clear. All right, loud and clear. And my cabinet doors are open. You look at my cabinets. Whatever. All right. Apparently, it's daylight savings time. I don't know what that's all about. All I know is some of my clocks say it's like 10, and I feel like it's 8, but it's actually 9. But now it's 10. I don't know why I feel like it's 8. Just the way it goes, I guess. Whatever. I'm not charging anything. All right. The stream is probably going to go longer than normal because I haven't done anything yet except for clean the coffee pot. No potatoes soaking. You missed the comments in live stream. All right. Live stream says, Jeremy, hello. SC Grandma says, good morning. SC Grandma says, yes. How am I doing? Loud and clear, cool. I'm doing okay. I'm sleepy. So I was distracted by the volume, and then I realized the reason there's no volume on my tablet is because the volume goes to my TV when I mirror it. Oh, look, the dog. Look at the dog. Berta. Hello. Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon. So what I decided to do today is I'm going to cook waffles for later on. I'll probably have one today. But I'm going to have eggs and hash browns, I think is what I'm going to do. But I'll get the hash browns going first. Because they need to soak for a little bit. Whoa, that one got away. I was thinking about doing like big cubes. Or not big cubes, but like, I don't know what they used to call it, like potatoes O'Brien. You put onions and peppers with it, but I do have an onion. I just don't think I'm going to cut it up. Oh, man, that potato didn't make it, did it? Jeepers, creepers. What's up with these potatoes? Just got some chunks going on. Is that the TV in the kitchen? Well, yeah, it is. That's the TV kitchen. Now I can stream from my tablet to my TV, so I can look in 2 directions and see comments besides the standard monitor. I normally don't have it on because there'd be no point having it on normally, because it would just be sitting there doing nothing. So last week I was going to do this, but like I confused my technology by changing names of things too much. Apparently I had to reset everything back to factory. I had the old Apple TV set to quote-unquote kitchen. And then I renamed another Apple TV to kitchen, but I couldn't get it to mirror. I could get the remote to show up, but I couldn't make the thing mirror. So I just had to do a full factory reset on it, which kind of sucked, but whatever. Sometimes in life, you just got to reset things. What is up with this potato? Like, I don't see that. Like, clear in the middle? Well, it's like roots. It's growing roots. Internal potato roots? Kind of weird. A little strange. Oop, that was a small one. Those are big ones. Spend all morning cutting potatoes. So it's cold again. That's fun. It was warm yesterday. We got snow. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I think it snowed about 5 inches, and then it compacted that 5 inches down to about 2 inches. So like shoveling snow was like shoveling wet sand, mud, heavy. Kind of sucked. It was like, went out to the garage to get the mule ready to go, and like somehow, I have no idea how this happened, the key got left in the on position, so the battery was 100% dead. Like, it was so dead, I couldn't even, like, I got it running, but I couldn't even make any of the electronics work on it because the battery was so dead. So like the plow wouldn't work, none of the buttons on the dash worked. It's like, oh, that's fun. So I didn't get my driveway plowed early, and like I kind of hand shoveled part of it, and the part that I hand shoveled, that all melted out, all the ice disappeared, and the part that didn't get hand shoveled still has a layer of ice. And you know, I got home after clearing some more snow. I finally got the thing working. I had it on a battery charger and got the driveway plowed, but all that ice is just permanent ice. Like, I still have now I have an ice field, which is super fun. Super duper fun. Whatever. Oh man, why am I still am I cutting too many potatoes? There were small ones. I usually do 2, but these were small. I didn't see the point in cutting up big potatoes into little pieces. Cut little pieces, or little potatoes into little pieces, right? Doesn't that seem to make the most sense? Alright, I need to find something to soak these in. Hold on a second here. Oh man, what do I got? I just want to use a glass container. Yowzer! Oh man, you'd think I'd have enough room, but we're a little tight on real estate here. Normally I cook my waffles there. I was going to cook eggs. I guess I could cook the eggs there. Put the waffles here, and now there's real estate. See how that works? I can't believe how delayed this is. This is like a minute delay. Let me try to reset this. I'm having a hard time because I kind of watch my monitor. Let me redo this. Oh man, why does my finger work? So we're at. That seems like really delayed. Like really delayed. Why is that so delayed? That's way more delayed than it needs to be. Come on. At least we're on the... That's better. Oh, hey. Check it, don't wreck it. Look at there, bud. How about them? You like apples? How about them apples? Compliments of toe shifter. We got the internet on the TV in the kitchen now. That's right. If you just got here, you missed me talking about it. Like, I had named my old Apple TV kitchen, and then when I got that thing home, I was like, oh, I'm naming that kitchen. And then the brain inside of Apple was like, oh, too many kitchens, and like it couldn't compute, like it just couldn't do it. It was just like, so I had to like redo the whole thing a second time. It was kind of crazy. But what was weird is like, you got that remote app on your device or your phone or your tablet. The remote could figure out the new kitchen, but like the mirroring couldn't figure it out. The mirroring was just bricked. It was just like, no, that ain't happening. That is not happening. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I appreciate it. Like the old Apple TVs. Give me one second here. The old Apple TVs are kind of like garbagey. They don't do much. Like, it's weird to think about now, but like the original Apple TV I had, it has apps, but they came preloaded. You couldn't download apps, and I started thinking about it, like, oh yeah, that's how it was when the apps first came out. They came on the device. Like, oh, you have an app. You can't download anymore. So those old Apple TVs, you can't download anything. So like, all I've got on that thing is like public television. So I did watch some Nova the other night when I went to bed in the bedroom. That was nice. But these newer ones, you can download stuff to them. Where did you buy the TV? Ooh, the TV. I've had that TV for a while. Probably Amazon if I had to guess. That's the second TV. Oh man, we're gonna tell a TV story. Hold on, hold please. So, way back in the day, there's a little shelf back there. There used to be a little tiny TV. Where am I getting this reflection from? Oh. Anyways, there used to be, let me see if I can get this thing set here. There used to be a small TV back there, and then I bought a TV back when I was in my 20s. I put it there, and this is on a tri-articulated mount. Oh god, I can't film any of this. All this. Like I could move this thing around. Look at, you can get back in there. I got a DVD player. There's the Apple TV. All that stuff's back there. Thing's filthy. I need to clean it. Anyways. When I bought my first TV for back there, which is the one that's in my kitchen, like, and it's gonna make me sound like I'm a million years old, but like, it was kind of a big deal. It was a flat screen. It was like, dude, it was how big was that thing? 40-inch or I can't remember. It wasn't huge, but like, for the time, it was like, dude. Your 40-inch flat screen, the thing cost me well over $1,000. Like, it was super expensive, but it was like, check it out, dude! Like, it's a flat screen. The bezel on it's like that wide. It's like, look how small that bezel is. It's crazy. And I had my father come over to help me mount it on the wall because it was like, you didn't want to drop it. And he had a heavy-duty Carhartt coat on. And if you didn't know anything about Carhartt, it's got very, 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 like, thick canvas covering. It was, I mean, not saying done on purpose or malice, but he had this coat on. He helped me mount it with his coat on. Well, the coat was so heavy and the canvas was so rough. I got 1,000 scratches on the side he was from his coat touching the piano mirror finish on my brand new, extremely expensive TV. I hadn't even plugged it in yet. It was like, oh, yeah. You ruined my TV. No, I didn't. And it's like, okay. And then like fast forward a bunch of years later, he bought a really nice high-end surround sound system that came with, and you open the box or whatever, and on the top of the box was white gloves. white gloves that you'd put on, so when you touch the speakers, you wouldn't put fingerprints or scratch them. And I picked up one of his speakers, and he started yelling at me about, you got to put gloves on before you touch that. And I'm like, dude, you destroyed like a $1,500 TV with your coat, scratching it to shit, and you're gonna cry about me using my fingers? Like, that's a true story. That absolutely did happen like that. And I still have that TV, and I could show you the scratches if you wanted to see it. But, you know, sometimes in life you get what you pay for when it comes to help. And then the TV I got now, fast forward a bunch of years, 4K was out. I could have got a 4K TV in here, but like, I know it's a controversial topic when it comes to 4K. 4K allows you to see minute details, but like, you kind of have to have a big enough TV to make it worth it, or you got to be sitting close enough to be able to see the details. Like, you got to sit close to a 4K to see the details. That's not God's honest truth. And anything smaller than, like, I don't know, I used to have all this stuff memorized because I was just super into it, but like, probably like 40 inches, like the screen's too small to see the details, so like, you're just wasting your money. So what this TV in here is like a super crazy high-end 1080p. I paid about $1,000 for this thing too. Like, I could have bought 4K TV for less than this thing cost, but it's just been a shitty 4K, not even a good one. But I decided to go with a really high-end 1080p in here, and it's great. Like, you can't see any pixelation hardly at all in the like, I was out at Best Buy the other day. I was like looking at the new TVs, and like, you look at the text and everything's all pixelated out. I was like, these are 4K TVs, and all I see is pixels. I see pixels everywhere. I was like, oh, it's so disappointing. Like, they haven't got that figured out yet. Whatever. I mean, there's a couple of TVs that are pretty sharp, but they're super expensive. There's a whole lot to TVs, actually. Tuning your TV, that's the most important thing. If you've not tuned your TV, what kind of gloves do I have? Are you talking about these? Like that glove? There's hot pad gloves, silicone. Usually come in sets, but I buy my gloves one glove at a time, apparently. All right, probably got some coffee in me. I kind of forgot about that. How do you put the TV in the kitchen? So it's called a tri-articulated mount. So like, if I'm the mount, and this is the TV, right? There's the TV. I can do this with my TV. I can do this with my TV, and then I got an elbow on the TV, and then I got a shoulder. So I can do that. Am I getting this all in there? Hold on. So the TV can go like this, can go like this, and can go like that. So I can go all the way out with it, or bring it back in. I can move it. Right now I got it pretty much all the way out. I had to readjust the location of the mount a little bit for this TV because the height was different. Because when I did the first one, I set it, same with this one, I set it within like I set it so when the TV's all the way up, it touches the ceiling, and then when you pitch it forward, there's a little bit of gap. Get as high as possible. Otherwise, like, honestly, I hit my head on it. I mean, I did go a little overboard on this kitchen TV in here, but I was like, I spent a lot of time in the kitchen. I might as well get a big TV. All right, let's make some batter here. Let's do 2 cups. I mean, that's the thing now, is like, I mean, it used to be like you buy a TV and it was like, oh, I have a TV. Well, now all you're doing now is you're buying screen size. That's what you're doing. Essentially, when it comes to like your phone, if you got a fancy watch, a tablet, or a TV, you're just buying your screen size. The shit that goes on it now, you can either do an Apple TV, or you can do a Fire Stick, or you can buy a new TV that has the stuff built in, and then it's all integrated, and then you access the internet from there or whatever. Not like it used to be when it was like, God, what are some of the things you used to? Oh, you got picture in picture? Oh, I got picture in picture. Oh my God, picture in picture? That's mind-boggling. Like, I remember, God, me and TVs. I'm so bitter when it comes to TVs because I bought. I don't even want to talk about it. It makes me sad. I've always been a sucker for wanting a new TV my whole life, you know. And like, TVs, the new version of a TV is always extremely expensive. Like whatever the newest version is or the newest whatever, and they're never going to stop having the newest version. There's always going to be the curved screen or the micro LED or the super LED or the ultra HD or the ultra UDA or I don't even know what the hell it is. So there's always a cutting edge to TVs, and like when I was a kid, a TV was like ooh, you have a color TV? Yes. Well, that's awesome, and they were expensive. And we had black and white TVs and stuff. And then it was like, oh, you got a color TV with a remote? I think they actually call it Space Command. With Space Command remote. Like, oh, it was crazy. Like, I remember we had black and white TV in the kitchen when I was a kid, and my folks went to like a big convention someplace and like won a door prize, and the prize was like a small color TV. But this color TV had push button on the top. So like the way you did a black and white TV, the way you changed the channel was you would go click, 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 click for the VHF channels, which VHF stands for very high frequency. So like where I live, it was like what, channel 4, channel 9 came in VHF, and then they had what they called UHF, which was ultra high frequency. And we could get PBS at channel 27. I think channel 14 was VHF, which UHF, ultra high. But you had to go to the channel, and then you had to hand tune it in with another knob, like and fine tune that frequency in to get that. And then when you wanted to watch a different channel, you go to the other knob and go click, 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 and you spin a knob like a rotary knob. So this new TV they got when I was a kid, it had on the top, you'd go through the thing, and you program, then you go click, 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 click. So I would sit as a kid after school. We'll say that this bottle of water here is the TV. I would sit like this with my hand on top of the TV going click, 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 click. Just commercial, next channel, next channel, next channel. Yeah, for hours. For hours! Color TV with click buttons. Oops, what we got here? Where's the hash browns at? Oh, they're soaking. Let's go check them. My dirty ass sink. Jesus Christ. How embarrassing. You gotta soak them after you cut them, get that starch off. According to the internet, you're supposed to do it for a half hour, but like, man, it's not gonna happen. See how starchy that is? I should just let that run a little bit, maybe. No, we'll strain it off. Where's my strainer? I got a strainer around here somewhere. But anyways, back to the TV thing. Oh, calm down, potatoes. Why are you leaping out of there? So then, like, actually, the TV my parents had when I was a kid was like, it was a crazy TV. It looked like it was like a TV from the Jetsons, dude. Like, it was nuts. It was like super modern. It was molded, had a weird stand on the bottom. It was white and all this craziness. And then, like, as it got older, like the power button on it was a toggle switch. It was a click clack toggle switch, and that toggle switch started having problems with its contacts. And the only way you could 2 minutes, half hour. Yeah, I get you, man. I got distracted by the whole what I'm doing here. Anyways, this toggle switch wouldn't work if you just walked up and toggled it, it wouldn't turn on. You had to do a pressure in and a quick flick, and you could turn the TV on. And my mom couldn't figure out how to do that, so when she would be mad at us, we wouldn't turn the TV on, and there was nothing she could do. That's terrible, isn't it? We pulled that a couple times, and then I think eventually, this is like the Wayback Machine too. They used to have a system called X10 you could get for your house. What it was computer control for your electronic house. So like if you wanted to have like your light switches come on, you could buy these fancy X10 light switches, and you could buy these modules. You could plug appliances in, and then like they sold you this little mini computer that you plug into a TV, and you could go in and schedule everything. Eventually, when like home computers came out, you'd buy software. You could go into your tower, and you could program. So like we ended up having to put an X10 controller on the TV so she couldn't be locked out of the TV. But yeah, good times. Good times. Anyway, so like I was probably like high school or whatever, and like technology gets cheaper with time, and like they started coming out with like what were kind of considered pretty big TVs, because TVs were small. Like you couldn't just buy a giant TV. That wasn't like, there really wasn't an option for a big screen TV. There was projectors. You could get a projector. When I say projector, I'm talking they had like lenses this big that were tri-colored, and like you had to be a lawyer or a doctor to afford one. Like they were crazy. I knew a kid whose dad had one. He was a doctor that had laser disc and a projector TV. It was like going to the movies, dude. Halfway through the movie, you had to flip the disc over. Remember that shit? Anyways, when I was in high school, which was like the mid-90s, the television started coming out in like, oh, I don't know, the screens were like that big, square, which was pretty big for pretty cheap. Like we found, like Panasonic came out with one that was like really affordable, and like, I think my folks replaced that TV with one, and it was like, I was working and had some money. I was like, dude, I want my own TV, so I bought one for my Nintendo or whatever. So I bought a TV. I still have the thing someplace. Bought this TV. It was pretty expensive. I mean, it was affordable for the time. Ish, you know, like the price had come down where it was like you can't afford it because you're not a lawyer type shit. Bought that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you fast forward a couple years to like the late 90s, and like the newest thing was like they're coming out with widescreen TVs. So you could get a widescreen, wide aspect ratio, and like some content was starting to come widescreen. Otherwise, you just got black bars on the side. It was like, dude, widescreen? So like I'm getting one, like at the time, a widescreen TV, which only came in cathode ray tube, a CRT, which is like, you know, 2 feet deep. You get 2 foot deep widescreen. Well, I bought one, and it was extremely expensive, like, because it was like, dude, the latest in technology, widescreen TV. Like, oh god, I gotta have one of those. And like, the one I found, let's see, what did I do? I still have it too. The widescreen TV that I got was technically not a television. It was a monitor. It did not have a terrestrial television tuner in it. So I had to buy a standalone tuner to get the signals over the air. But it was widescreen, CRT, great picture. It still works today. I could probably drag it down. It was about as deep as it was wide. The only person that I ever saw get a TV like that was my brother. He had one too. So when we looked at the front, it looked like a modern widescreen TV. It's like, oh, it's amazing. It's just really deep. And what I bought an open box return or a display or something, and like it was over $1,000, extremely expensive. So like I ended up buying an insurance policy on this TV, and part of the insurance policy insured the delivery of the TV, and it was called a white glove delivery. So I had to have I'll never forget this. And I was like, whatever, white glove. I just want to cover myself, because it was like I think at the time it was the most expensive thing I ever bought in my life, probably. Yeah, super lightweight. Yeah, no, super lightweight. And I didn't want to get burned. And I was buying this thing on the internet. It was delivered on a fucking 18-wheeler. No, that one wasn't an 18-wheeler. That was like, because that was the old people. So like, this one wasn't. I've had TVs delivered on semis before. Anyways, this was delivered by a private company. And because it was white glove service, that meant setup and everything was covered under this insurance plan. It guaranteed that it would work, it was good, and like there was like a year or two warranty or whatever. So like my TV comes to get delivered, I'm like, oh dude, widescreen TV! Like, first person I know getting a widescreen TV. This is the coolest shit ever. This couple shows up, and I'm not exaggerating when I say they had to have been in their late 60s, early 70s. I mean, 100% gray hairs. Not even like salt and pepper. Gray hairs show up. Man and wife. And the wife, it looked like she was up to vacuuming the house. Like, and this policy involved, they had to take the TV out of the vehicle, bring it into my house, lift it out of the box, set it on my TV stand, plug it in, and make sure it worked. That was the contract that I paid for. And I watched these two old people try to struggle this TV into my house, and I'm like, my God, they're gonna drop it. And like, now they gotta get it out of the box. Like, I'm not supposed to touch anything. This is all supposed to be done. And like in my mind when I bought the contract, my fantasy was like a technician was coming out. Instead, like Ma and Pa Clampett showed up. They'd never hooked a TV up. They don't know shit about nothing. They just got the contract and they're just like, well, it says we gotta do this. They're trying to lift my TV out and I'm just like, stop! Fucking stop! You were gonna drop that? Because like the old lady's like, ah! Like it was crazy. It was the craziest shit I'd ever seen in my life. I finally was like, I'll do it. You can leave. I just think you need to go. Like we plugged in, made sure it worked, and I made them leave. Like, oh my god, they were supposed to hook the whole thing up. That was nuts. 1.5 cups of water. So I used that TV forever, and then fast forward a bunch of years later, my old man called me up. Was like, dude, you got to get down. We had this high end. Bert is here. Bert, come here. Come here. Come here. The internet wants to see you. Hello, Beastie. Hey, how goes the struggle? Yeah? Just another day in paradise. We gotta like fix your jacket. It's all like the Velcros are all messed up, aren't they? Yeah? You a good girl? Yeah. Anyways, so fast forward a bunch of years. My old man calls me. He's like, "Got to get down to this high end, It wasn't a. Oh wait, what am I doing here? 1.5 cups. What did I do there? A little more. We had this like a one-off high-end-ish electronic store, just like non-chain, just like a guy who owned his own electronic store. They had the Mitsubishi 18-wheeler demo truck came for the latest technology, and their latest technology was their DLP 3D widescreen TVs. And he's like, you got to come see this shit. Like, you've never seen nothing like this in your life. Because, like, at the time, there was, like, 3D. You put the glasses on, you go to the movie theater. It was kind of cheesy. I went down there, and I put the glasses on. They're active shutter glasses. And I watched this content, dude, and it was, like, it was more real than what I see with my eyes. The reality, the clarity, it was unbelievable. And I was like, I'm getting that shit. Like, I'm going to get that. That is the coolest shit ever. Like, the movies, everything was just insane. Like, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And this was all cutting edge, newest of new technology. And I was like, I don't care. I'm doing it. So I went all in. Like, I ended up doing a full 7.1 THX certified surround sound home theater with all the latest that allowed for the, like, the 3D technology was so new that you couldn't use the HDMIs that were available. You had to have the new version of HDMI because the old version, which was the one that they had available, wouldn't pass through enough signal to allow the 3D signal to get through. You couldn't use a regular tuner. You had to have a specially designed, brand new, I think it was 2010 when all this came out. You had to have one that allowed for, like, you couldn't just use what you had last year. Last year's shit wouldn't work. You had to have the newest of the new. And I did it. The whole fucking shebang. I'm not going to tell you how much I spent on all that shit because it's embarrassing. Like, I went full Dr. Lawyer mode on my home theater system. And, like, it was unreal. I bought the glasses. Like, the glasses were like $100 a pair or some crazy shit. I ended up getting like 6 pairs of those. So, like, then I want my friends to come over and be like, well, I don't get a pair of 3D glasses. What's up with this? What's up? I counted all my seats. Like, this is all the seats I got in my living room. I'm buying a pair of glasses for every seat in the living room. That way, no one can cry about not being able to see the 3D and all this and that, blah, 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 blah. And basically what happened is people would come over and hate on my shit. Because it was, meh. I was just like, what? Just enjoy it, man. I'm not charging tickets. Like, I started buying DVDs and Blu-ray DVDs, and like that was the other thing. You had to have a Blu-ray player, so I had the PS3, which at the time I think was still pretty new. Like, I had it for like a year or two, but it was still kind of expensive. It was still cutting edge. Like that PS3 I got when I bought that was unbelievable. Like, that blew people's minds. My cats, I had 2 cats at the time. My cats bought me my PS3 for Christmas. And it was like, dude, they're like probably the nicest cats in the history of the world to buy you a PS3 for Christmas. And I agreed. Cats were awesome. So anyways, yeah, so now I got a shitty old, like 12-year-old high-end entertainment center that sucks. Whatever. So me and my TVs, man. Jesus. That's why when the 4K came out, I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not jumping on the 4K, bro. I'm not doing it. Cannot spend any more thousands on the newest shit. I'm gonna wait till like 12K comes out, then I'll get a 4K or some shit. It's like, oh god, the bane of my cutting edge existence. I'm trying to think of that home theater system. I even bought a little dock, a specially made dock that ported into the back of my receiver that allowed you to drop your iPod. And that thing was like, that was well over $100 for this port. Because iPods were cutting edge technology. It was the newest of the new shit. It's like, oh bro, when you bring your iPod over, you could just drop it in this cradle and then your tunes will just bust through my system and we could jam out, right? Yeah, that got used about 4 fucking times. Like, that's crazy. Whatever. Let's check these potatoes. Me crying about my shit. Ooh. This is browning up nicely. Give me the old stir. Back in you go, bud. So yeah, whatever. Cutting edge technology. I mean, let that be a lesson if you're young. Something new will come out, be better than that eventually. Like, I don't know what to tell people anymore. Like, I mean, generally my philosophy has always been, when you buy technology, you should try to buy the latest and the best version that you can, because if you don't, it's going to get obsolete sooner. But that comes with a caveat too, because like, so what happens now with technology is technology comes in like block generations, where like, well, we can talk about phones for example. So like, at some point they changed the whole architecture of like well, for example, like iPhones, they changed them to a whole new platform and everything, and then they update the chips and they update the cameras for a while. Then at some point they just redesign the whole thing again. So you always want to be in the current generation of platform. Like if they, like right now where they got a 15 is coming out, well, like if the 16 is a whole new generation of platform, and the word spills on the street, you wouldn't want to buy a 15 or 14. You want to wait and get that new generation platform and be ready to go on out. But like right now, like 14s are out, which like is the same generational platform as a 13 and a 12. But the 11 was the old generation phone, if I remember right. Like that's the old shit. Like you wouldn't want to get 11 or an X or whatever, because that's, I mean, it still worked, don't get me wrong. It just wouldn't be as current in its totalitarian, I guess, like the platform of it, right? Because like eventually they just make an announcement that says, oh, starting on this date your shit don't work anymore. Like, sorry, type of deal. Like for me, I did the 5S is what I did. And the 5S, that little S they added to it, allowed it to be like usable much longer than like a 5. You bought a 5? That shit broke years before. The S was like they kind of changed it all. Kind of weird. What do we got here? Yeah, blacks. I mean, well, yeah, no, you want that high contrast for sure. But like so, like when I was at Best Buy the other day, what I was noticing is there was a Best Buy ad where it was like yellow on blue or whatever, and when you looked at the curve of the letters, some TVs the pixels looked like they were gigantic. It was like tick, 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 tick. It was all squared out. And I looked at that, I was like, oh my god, Best Buy! Like I wouldn't run that ad in your store because it makes your TVs look like shit. But then you look at the good TVs, like the real good ones that are like the new, that was all smoothed out. But like all the other ones, it looked so pixel, like the pixels look gigantic, like crazily. But whatever. I mean, I guess now the new stuff, what would be energy efficient micro LED or whatever. There's always something new. And there's going to be a new one after that. Yeah. There's always nuance to everything, right? Because like, I mean, my old man's a firm believer in the blacks, right? Blacks. So like when he bought his TV, it's like, has the highest rated blacks. And it's like, oh, well, I read a 2-minute review and it says like that thing is gonna fall over because the stand's garbage and the remote's a piece of shit. So there's that. And you got it in the thing like you can't breathe on it or it'll fall over off the stand. And the remote, you had to buy a new remote because like the remote that came home was absolutely useless. Other than that, the blacks are super black. But the other thing, The other thing I will say, ooh, I gotta shake the potatoes. The other thing I'll say about a TV, and this is the God's truth. It doesn't matter what TV you get. Whatever one's in your TV room is going to be the one you're going to watch. Unless it's got like a big broken spot or it's like damaged, it's going to be fine. I mean, unless you're going to put like two TVs. I'm just going to let those mellow, not cooking. Unless you're going to put two TVs next to each other in your TV room, you're never going to really notice too much. I mean, you just get used to it, I guess. Whatever. See, if you're not looking at an OLED, then you're not looking. Yeah, I mean, OLED, that's probably, I assume that's like the latest cutting edge, best of the best. Well, I got news for you. In like 2 or 3 years, if you had an OLED TV, you're going to be disappointed because like the new shit's going to be out and it's going to be like, oh man, it's like neural OLED. It goes straight in my brain, or I don't know what the hell they come up with. There's always going to be something. I'm trying to think, what was it? When I bought my kitchen TV, I bought the latest version of it, and they had just come out with what's called the Smart Hub, which is the apps. So my kitchen TV is a smart TV. It does have apps on it. So like I can watch Amazon Prime and I can watch Netflix and all. And there's, I mean, it's not unlimited. There's like there's a catalog that you can select from, but it's a large catalog. It's not downloadable apps though. Like I can't just like go to the internet and to an app store and download apps. Like new TVs, I think you can do that. So the version before mine on my kitchen TV, it also had a smart hub, but it was garbage. It was like their first attempt at a smart TV. This is a Samsung, and Samsung makes pretty good TVs. I'll let you know that. They also make cheap ones, but you know, if you get a mid-grade or high-end Samsung, you're not going to be disappointed. Anyways, they upgraded their smart hub to the point where like their first version kind of sucked, and it was like, oh yeah, we effed that up, so we got to make a better version. And like just so happened, like my aunt and uncle, which I'm not gonna tell you which ones, but anyways, one of my aunts and uncles bought themselves a new TV, and they were talking about the things that it did or had or whatever. And I was like, all right, no, I know what you're talking about. And like they're describing to me, I was like, that doesn't sound. It's like that sounds like you're describing the last generation Samsung. And it's like, I hope you didn't buy that one because that one's garbage because like they screwed the smart hub up on all that. You should have bought the new one. Did the salesperson like tell you that was the new one? And they're like, no, this one was discounted. And I was like, oh God, you got a discount on an old TV with like it was one of those generational gaps where like, you don't want that one, you're gonna want this one because it's all brand new and it's gonna work. Yeah, unfortunately, they got sold a TV on that one. Unfortunately, I mean the TV works. Don't get me wrong. Let's see, I was a Sam. So you have Sony now? Oh well, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what the highest end Samsung would cost you, but I would be willing to bet whatever the highest end Samsung would go toe to toe with anything on the planet Earth is what I'd be willing to bet. I'm sure they've got some sort of OLED technology. I mean, Sony makes quality products too. Don't get me wrong. I've never owned anything that was made by Sony that sucked, except for my PlayStation. That thing's a piece of shit. Anywho's, I'm just gonna cook an egg here. I'm gonna get this one waffle done, maybe. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Sony Bravio XR OLED. Oh, 2022, bro. It's a year old. You got 2023. Sony created their own version. They call it QLED. Yeah. I mean, even that TV I have in my bedroom, that thing's only a 720. Because once again, on a small screen TV, there's not enough screen there for enough pixels to like make it worth like if you have a 30-inch TV 4K, you just threw money in the trash. Like there's not enough pixels to pick up. Like they don't make them small enough. Like it's like I have a 4K watch. It's like you could never even like they don't make pixels that small. But I was kind of blown away watching the PBS. They look good on that. Yeah. I mean, they had the curved TVs. So, like, I think, like, the big difference now is, like, they're coming out with better viewing angles on a lot of that stuff. That's a big deal for a lot of people. It used to be, like, the super high-end TVs had a very narrow viewing angle, so, like, the people on the sides really couldn't see it very well. They're improving that. But there's always going to be something, right? Always. No matter what. especially if you go like a bunch of years down the road. I guess that's the thing that's like it's so hard to deal with. Is like it kind of used to be like if you bought something, you were good to go. Like you could just buy something, it would just work. There would be newer versions, but it wouldn't be like astronomically improved beyond like where you look at your old ones like, well, that's garbage. Like I can't even use that shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got a hammer. Oh yeah, does it pound nails? Yeah. Well, look at the new one. Oh, that's nice. They're like, what do they do? Well, they got some exotic metals in there, and there's a grip in the handle. It's like, well, yeah, no, those are nice features, but like, it still hammers nails like my old one. Yeah. That's how everything used to be. Everything. Like, I got a stove. Does it work? Yeah, the burners work. Now it's like, oh, but does it? I don't even know. Do 6 things and like send you text messages. What did I see? The refrigerator thing. Have you guys shopped refrigerators lately? Holy shit. Refrigerators are goddamn insane now. They come with a goddamn television screen on them that's touch screen, and you can like go to the internet, you can like there's a camera inside the kitchen or the refrigerator that shows you what's in. Like don't eat. There's apps. Your refrigerator has apps now. Oh, I just screwed that up. Opened that too soon. Like my brother just bought a new refrigerator. I'm not even making this up. You walk up to his refrigerator and you go tap tap on the glass, and the light turns on, and it's a window you can see through into the refrigerator. And then you can open a little mini door in the front. You can get drinks out of the front. And you can close that little mini glass door, and then you can open the whole door up, and then it makes giant round ice cubes. I assume that refrigerator costs nearly what probably the first car that I ever drove costs. I would assume. I don't know. Didn't ask. I can't imagine. But like, and what was it? So like, there's the high-end refrigerators with the internet and the screens and the whiteboard and all that and the see-through, and then like the cheap refrigerators, they don't even have handles on them anymore. They stopped putting handles on refrigerators. Now you get this stupid reach under shit. And like, well, where do you hang your hand towel if there's no? I don't even understand anything anymore. I ruined this waffle by opening it too soon. Come on, friend. Release. It's like a bit of a split waffle. We got a split waffle. I'm gonna unplug this for a second because like I may cook the rest of these waffles off stream. I just kind of wanted one to eat today because like I like waffles. But I was thinking I don't have any more waffles made for my air fryer. Like I was kind of getting into like throwing a waffle in the old air fryer from a Ziploc bag, and oh man, that really stuck there, didn't it? Jeez, what happened here? I'm pretty sure I oiled this. What is happening? A little disappointed in this here attempt. It really stuck. I must have missed that when I did the old. Right, set that to the side. That's not hot. Okay. What the hell am I talking about? Oh, refrigerators. Oh yeah, so you may say to yourself, well, why were you at Best Buy the other day? Well, I'll tell you why. Here's my next story. Woke up the other day and got out of bed and stood up on my glasses and smashed them. That was fun. And of course, like a responsible human being, I've got backup glasses. Except for I was already wearing my backup glasses, so therefore I had no more glasses. So I was like, oh, nice. I'm 100% blind now. No glasses. I guess I'll try to get some glasses, which I should have done years ago or whatever. I've been kind of putting that off. Mainly because I'm losing my near vision and I'm living in denial. I'm trying that for a change. I know a lot of people that live in denial, so I thought I'd give it a try. So, yep. Started making some phone calls. Looked up my old eye doctor, which I heard his practice wasn't... He quit his private practice and he went into like a group thing. Well, since then he's retired from that, so he's retired. I called them up. And I was like, yeah, I used to go to blah, blah, blah doctor. I think he's with you guys, but I think he's retired now. And they're like, well, have you ever been to this location? I was like, no, never have, because I think it's been like 10 years since I had my eyes checked. If not longer. And they're like, oh, wow. Well, yeah, we can make an appointment for you. It'll be next week sometime. I'm like, oh, great, next week. That's perfect because I'm standing here with no glasses. It'd be nice to be able to see. So, yeah, that's not going to work out. And then she said this, but I'd never heard this shit in my life. No, that wasn't them. I was like, well, thank you for your time. I'll call you back if I decide to go there. And I called some other people. There's a place down the road from me real close. I called them up. And they're like, yeah, no, we can get you in next week. And I was like, next week? What the hell? Or she goes, or we can have one of the people at the desk here do a thing for you, and then we can go online, and you can see an eye doctor via the internet. And I'm like, oh yeah, that probably would work perfect. Let's get an internet eye exam. She goes, oh, we've been doing that for a while now. And we're like, oh yeah, I bet. The old internet eye exam. Oh my God. I can only imagine how well that goes. So I was like, well, if I come in and get the internet eye exam, how soon till I can have my glasses? Oh, we can probably get those to you in about 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, even better. Come in and get my internet eye exam, and in 2 weeks I'll have glasses. So for 2 weeks I'll just walk around like a blind person. Like holding lenses up to my eyes or whatever. So I like started doing the internet thing. It's like, well, iMart Express will get you your glasses in 30 minutes. I was like, I guess I'm going to iMart Express, whatever the hell that is. Call out there. Like, yeah, I need a good eye exam with some of your 30-minute glasses. Like, well, we're independent optometrists or whatever the hell they're called. You can come in and get we can schedule an appointment, get you an eye exam, and then once you get your prescription, you can go over there and get your glasses made. And I was like, great, when can I come in? Like, well, Tuesday next week. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? Tuesday next week? And they're like, or someone just canceled. If you can make it out here in like 30 minutes, you can take their spot. And I was like, so let me get this right. Tuesday next week, you can make glasses in about an hour, or I can go like next week to a person, I get them in 2 weeks, or next week, and like, I was like, I'll be there in a half hour. Jumped in my car, drove across town, got my eye exam. Got lectured. That was fun. Because I am going a little bit unable to see up close. I got the lecture about how I need to get transition bifocals, is what the guy told me. And I was like, no, it's not happening. He's like, I highly recommend it. You're going to need to do this. And I was like, no, I'm good. He's like, no, you got to do it. I was like, no, I don't. And he's like, yeah. I was like, dude, I'll just tip my glasses down, look over my glasses. I was like, do you see how scratched my glasses are right now? He's like, yeah. I was like, see, if we just get me a new prescription without scratches, my vision was going to be 300% better than it was before. So I don't need that shit. And he's like, you're going to have it. Like, you're going to need it. I'll see you next year. I was like, no, you're not. I felt bad for the guy. I was like, dude, the chances of me coming in next year are 0%. Unless, like, I fucking wake up blind one morning. I may come back out, but, like, if I wake up blind, I'm probably not going to the iMart Express eye doctor. I'm probably going to go see someone that takes care of shit like that for real. But, like, the guy was nice. Did good. I mean, this is what I kind of feel. I kind of feel like I probably could have gone to that online doctor because, like, this is how they check your eyes now. They stick you on a machine and shoot lasers in it or whatever, and they puff air in your eye or whatever, and the machine spits out a prescription, and then the guy goes back and, like, puts it in he types it into a computer. Like it used to be, they flip these things like click clack, and the lenses like it's all automated now. Like the guy was on his computer, he wasn't, and then like he's like, "Can you see?" And I'm like, "Yep." And I just asked him, I was like, "Did that computer in the beginning like just tell you what my prescription was?" He's like, "Well, yeah, but we double check." And I was like, "Wow, all right, fair enough, double check." I'll show you my glasses here in a second. Here's the new me. I got my new glasses. As I wear them more, I feel like I got the wrong frames. So I gotta get them because they keep sliding down. I don't know, are they too wide? They're kind of like what I used to wear, but like they got more lens down. Although when I'm laying on the couch or whatever, having the extra lens at the bottom, pretty nice because I can still see. So then, hey, look at my cabinets. This is early cabinet. Do I have the heat on, man? I'm sweating. Anyways, so yeah, that's my new look. It's about the same. It's a little different, but we'll go back. So anyways, it's like, my plan was like, oh, I'm just going to go out there and just get their El Cheapos, you know, like 2 pairs of glasses with cheap lenses for like $40 or some ridiculous cheap amount. Like, something insane, you know? And I started thinking about it. I was like, well, if I do online glasses, I'm going to have stuff ordered, right? And it's going to take time. And in the meantime, what if something at like work flies up and hits me in the lens and like shatters my lens or whatever? Like I lose an eye over because I wanted to like save a couple dollars. I run polycarbonate lenses, which are high impact resistant safety lenses, because it ain't worth losing your eye over type of deal. And I'm not saying that like they are a rip-off operation out there, because like it was still, well, essentially all glasses are a rip-off, as best I can tell. But you know, it went from like, oh, $40, you get 2 pairs. I was like holding the frames, like, yeah, these feel like they're gonna break before I like. They just feel like they're just cheap, like beyond cheap glasses, like beyond cheap. Excuse me for 1 second. I'm looking through the internet, my nose is running. And it's like, well, what's the next price step up? And then she kind of showed me some frames. Like, all right, I can do that. Well, what's the deal with the lenses? Well, you got to add lenses for these. These aren't the deals. It's like more money for lenses. It's like, are those the cheap lenses? Oh no, yeah, those are the low expensive ones, not the polys. Well, how much for polys? There's even more for polys. So I was like, oh god. You know, my last glasses I had scratch resistant coating, and that ended up like peeling off after a bunch of years. So I had to decide, am I doing scratch resistant or not scratch resistant? And it's just like, how much I was getting, it just kept adding up more and more and more and more and more. And it's like, all right, how much for like 1 pair of those non-scratch resistant poly? And it was like $160 or some crazy amount. And I was like, well, what if I get 2 of the exact same setup? Oh, it's $30 more. So it's like $160 for 1 pair of glasses with poly lenses and frames. Or for $30 more, you get 2 of everything. And I was like, god damn, all right, give me 2. I'll have a backup pair. All right, they'll be ready in about an hour. So I go to say, that's why I went to Best Buy. They call me up, I go back. I was like, all right, I'm here. All right, here's your glasses. I was like, well, we're going to have to fit them to me because they're like rigid frames. You got to get them hot and adjust everything. We're doing that. I'm not making this shit up at all. We get the first pair adjusted. She grabs the second pair and goes to adjust them, and the temple snaps right off. Like, just snaps off. I'm like, oh, I just bought 2 pairs of those, huh? Like, I'd only had those on my face 1 single time before they broke. They broke after 1 wearing, and I was like, oh, great. Well, I'm sure glad I bought 2 pairs. Like, Jesus Christ, how long are these going to last? Like, well, that never happens. And I was like, yeah, I bet that never happens, except for just right now, to me, right now. Whatever. Kind of, it's not inspiring confidence. Let's just put it that way. But what I'm going with is, and this kind of bugged me out, is like they sell the frames that are on display. And I kind of get why they do that. That way they don't just have the same frame getting busted up and they're thrown away. Like, put a frame out, sell it, put another one out. So I was like, do you have any more of these frames on hand? They're like, before I bought, I was like, I told them I don't really want to buy a demo frame. Like, I want to buy a new frame. And she explained, well, that's just what we do here, you know. She said, we do have a second pair of frames on hand before they made them. We only have 2 frames. I was like, well, I guess I'll take them. So when they broke my other one, they're like, well, we can make you a different pair of glasses. I was like, no, I'm just going to go with these, except for now that I'm seeing how great they snapped and 2 seconds, I'm kind of regretting my decision, but in a couple of weeks, my frames will be here. I was like, a couple of weeks? Like, what do you, like, deliver frames on a donkey? Like, how does it take 2 weeks to deliver frames? That doesn't even make any sense. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about yeah, no. Like, my old frames were Ray-Bans, and I swear to God, 2 frames of Ray-Bans lasted me 10 years. 10 years! If I get a year and a half out of these, I'll be okay. She's like, well, we sell Ray-Bans. I was like, really? Show me your Ray-Bans. Oh, $300 for frames. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to probably spend $300 from you guys on frames. Like, that's crazy. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm kind of like, I'm almost over it all. Just thinking, like, maybe I'll just not care and just whatever. Whatever. Maybe I'll get some reading glasses and some contacts. I used to wear contacts, but like, when you got to protect your eyes, contacts kind of suck because like, you got to wear safety glasses over your contacts, and then when you get shit in your eyes, it's just like never-ending shit in your eyes, picking sawdust out. Did you just go to like Walmart and buy readers, or did you actually go get a script for readers? Like, tell me you're not that crazy. Like, readers just come in like percent, like 7.5, 1, 150, 1 1/4. You buy a script for that. I'm in my 40s and I'm currently in my yeah, you just get readers, dude. They sell them at like on the bookends. You don't have to go get a script for that. You just go like to Walmart and you just go to the reader section and you just put a pair on and be like, nope, too strong, not strong enough. And then like you pick the frame that looks good and you move on with your life. Whatever. So the guy, yeah, he wanted to put me in bifocals. He suggested transitions. I said, nope. Just straight told the guy, no, that's not going to happen. Well, I really recommend it. I was like, oh, well, I appreciate your recommendation, but it's not going to happen. I will not be wearing glasses with bifocals. Not yet, anyways. Yeah, so yeah, I understand full glasses, but like for distance, you have to wear glasses for distance or for reading. I mean, usually when you turn 40, you get glasses because you can't read anymore because you lose your near vision. They call them readers. Bo, you got bifocals? Grandpa got bifocals? That's hilarious. Yeah, so like for me, if I put my arm out full length here for my chest, so like that's as far as my fingers, my vision's like there. I can see that right there. Anything closer to that, fuzzy. This part here, good to go. Everything out, fuzzy. So you got transitions? That's funny. I told the guy to get real. I ain't getting that shit. I would rather say, sorry, I can't read that than wear bifocals. That's how I feel about that. Well, that's an option in life. You just like, oh, sorry, I can't read that shit. Actually, what did I see the other day? You get there's a magnifying option on your iPhone that you can get. You just break your camera out, hit the magnifier, and just zoom in. You can read anything you want. Oh, which brings me to my next story. So I was up at the old job site the other day, plugging away, and all of a sudden, like a bunch of people show up. I was like, oh, we got visitors. There's 3 dudes from from Nicaragua who spoke literally zero English. When I say zero English, I don't even think they knew how to say hello in English. I was a scholar in Spanish compared to their English. They were looking for work. And it was like, you know, yo hablo un poquito español. And we got to the part where it was like, well, how much do you want per hour? And they didn't want to say. They wanted to know how much do you pay per hour. That was funny. To the point where, like, the guy called his, like, girlfriend who spoke about as much English as I speak Spanish. That was interesting. And we finally, I was like, you're just going to have to ask him, like, oh, boss man here just wants to know what you charge per hour. You know, like, what is a non-English speaking Nicaraguan, I assume illegal alien want per hour? Turns out $20 an hour is what a non-English speaking Nicaraguan carpenter wants per hour. But anyways, came home that night, was like kind of like, man, there's got to be a better way to do all that shit, because that was crazy. That whole trying to communicate. Check this out. Let's see here. Right there on the old smartwatch. Well, I may not do it when I'm on the. Here we go. How much do you want to be paid per hour?
¿Cuánto quieres que te paguen por hora?
See? Look at that. And then if you hold Spanish, all the languages you can have it translate to. Look at that. Right there on the watch. And it will actually... See, it says speak Spanish or English. So if I speak Spanish, it'll translate to English like, Yo quiero dos tacos pronto, mi amigo.
I want this taco dishes, my friend.
Oh, I don't speak very good Spanish. I said dos tacos, not toast tacos. Come on, internet. Isn't that crazy? Right on the old watch. So next time the Nicaraguans show up, I can translate right there from the old watch. Whatever. That's always fun. Oh, there's one for the dog. No transitions. So... You got like a straight line cut for bifocal and regular? Is that what you did? The one thing I will say about the guy that I went to, which I totally appreciate, he did not over-prescribe me. Which I think a lot of eye doctors do. They put you in a stronger prescription than you actually need. And that's a whole other topic. Like, I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but like there is a belief in a group, well, not a group. There are people who believe that your eye problems can be fixed with eye exercise. And like anyone that wears glasses is only wearing glasses because they were put in glasses, making their eyes weaker. Like the more you use corrective lenses, the weaker your eyes get. That's basically how it works. Allegedly. So the conspiracy theory is, you go to the eye doctor. He checks your eyes. He ratchets your prescription up a little more than you need to make everything really, 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 really clear, which makes your eyes not have to work as much, and then your eyes get weak. You go back. He checks your eyes. He ratchets your prescription up a little more, and it just keeps making you weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. My grandfather believed in this. Like, when he found out I wore glasses, my grandfather was mad at me. He's like, what? You wear glasses? You need to exercise your eyes. And I'm like, okay, Grandpa, I'm going to go do some eye exercises. Should I stare at the sun, or how do I exercise my eyes, or whatever? So yeah, but I've always noticed that sometimes you get like a stronger script than you need. I mean, you can see really good. You know, you got some eagle vision. But whatever. Right here. Distance script, yeah. I've had glasses since like grade school. I mean, it's not a surprise to me that I'm losing my near vision. Like, both my folks are trifocal at this point or something. I don't really know. Yeah, I was sitting there talking with the guy. He's like, oh, yeah, no. You're definitely in the age for bifocals. He's like, next is when you get your cataracts. And I'm like, what? He's like, oh, yeah, you'll get cataracts. Don't worry. He's like, well, thanks, Doc. Here's something to look forward to. And then what else do you say? Well, the kid before or whatever, he was talking to me about, he had LASIK done. He's like, oh, no, you got to have your LASIK done in your 30s, otherwise it doesn't last. And I was like, what? You're telling me I'm too late for LASIK? I was like, whatever. I don't want LASIK anyway. Like, I'm trying to think. I think when my dad got his LASIK, or got his cataracts out, they LASIK'd him or something, where he kind of only needs glasses for reading now. But it's like, I talked to him and said, well, here's the deal. You spent your whole life with something covering your eyes, protecting your eyes, and now you don't need that. I was like, you're going to have to be real diligent on keeping your eyes covered when you're like mowing the yard, because you've always had lenses over your eyes. And now you don't, and you're going to get your eyes poked out. Hopefully not, but it's, it's possible. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know anything anymore. All I know is I woke up the other day, and within like 3 or 4 hours, I was about $300-something poorer, and all I did is step on my glasses. And I still don't have a second pair; they're in the mail, which is just like so uninspiring. I'm just like, oh god, I've already written it off to like, oh well, you win some, you lose some, you lose some. I was just like, oh, well, they got me on that one, didn't they? We're going to cut some of this up for the old beastess. She's going to want a plate. She's standing here looking at me. She's like, wait a second. You done eating eggs? Egg cam. Dog feet. Dog nose. Dog eyes. Dog ears. Dog eggs. Yum, yum. We had juice to make here, too, I guess. I'm going to eat some more of these potatoes. I shouldn't get all those. You can't have all my potatoes. I'm trying to think what else exciting happened. Oh, yeah, no. So this will be an upcoming video series. I'll talk about this. Oh, another one for the dog. There are a couple potatoes. Right there. See them? Get them. Get that one too. Get it. Good girl. So, you will see this on the channel if you watch enough of my videos, but like a year ago, we got a new saw. I did an unbagging video of it, the Metabo, which used to be Hitachi. And we've run Hitachis for years, and they're good saws, and this is just basically the modern version of the old Hitachis. I know it's working good and everything, and I got hurt, and I was done. Like, I was gone for half a year. I went out a couple times just to see the progress, but I wasn't out on the job site. I was just focusing on rehab and getting my arm fixed and all that, so I wasn't. We talked about having me go out and supervise, and it was just decided that I would most likely start working again and end up re-injuring my arm, and it would turn into a shit show of like absolute disaster. So doctor, me, and family, and everybody just decided that I would just stay away. That way I wouldn't be tempted to like grab a board or do something stupid until I was medically cleared to go back. Anyways, along the way, somehow, nobody knows how it happened or what it was or what, the cord on the saw, actually, maybe I still have it here. I threw it in the trash. Here, I'll show you. Well, I cut it off. But like the sheathing pulled out of this, and there was like all the rope and all that was exposed, blah, blah, blah. So I came back in December. I was like, oh, I'm back, boss man. Let's build some house. Yeah, let's go. And like, all right, let's cut some boards and get the saw. And like, what the hell happened to the saw? Like, the cord's all jacked up. And at the time, it was just, it was the rubber housing, and then it was ropes still attached all inside, and then like a gap of like a half inch of just rope showing. And it was just like, it just looked like the housing just pulled out. I was like, what the hell? He's like, I have no idea. That shit's just like, it just did it. And I'm like, okay, well, sometimes things just do it, and sometimes you don't know they did it, and sometimes you did it yourself. I don't know. Wasn't there, don't know. out of my control. Let's give the old beast his old plate here. Come over here on the rug so your feet don't slide. Stand on the rug and eat that. Eat it on the rug. Ooh, it's pretty good. Sorry for the off angle. That's the only way I can do this. Don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Whatever. Yum, yum. So anyways, cover the mess up. Anyways, I was like, that kind of looks like, I would call that a manufacturer's defect. Like, we've owned these, like, the older versions of these saws and used them for decades, and I've never had a cord do that. Like, that doesn't seem normal. I'm sure they'll fix that. So, like, you know, I live in the smartphone era, so I get my smartphone out. I called 1-800. I was like, yo, got your saw, blah, blah. Things doing this. And like, oh, okay, well. I was like, I can maybe remember how the conversation went, but I'm not going to. Anyways, the gist of the conversation was, take a picture and email it to us. And I was like, okay. You know, can I text it to you? Because that's way easier. I could type a telephone number and way easier than a goddamn whatever. But like, I wrote it down, read it back, got it perfect. Took the pictures, sent the text off, or the email, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me, my nose is running again. And never heard back. And like, we just kept using it because like, it wasn't like the saw didn't work. It was just like, the cord was just janky. And it was like, whatever. And then like, fast forward a month or whatever. And like, I'm trying to cut a board one day. And like, so we used to do, I have that giant saw rig system that we use. That thing's amazing. But like, yeah, my arm is fixed, but my arm ain't fixed type of deal. So like, I can't lug giant saws in and out. So like, we just kind of decided we're just going to use a circular saw to cut the boards up. And one way you can make a really good straight cut with a circular saw is if you get one of those speed squares, like a Swanson speed square, aluminum. You can just set that on the board and you can use it as a guide against the plate of the saw, and you can just push it straight through and you'll get a perfect cut. As long as you get the blade lined up on the line, you can get straight cuts all day. So I was like, all right, let's cut some floor joists. And I'm cutting floor joists. I'm drawing my line. And I'm going through, and the saw is just like going. It's like cutting in. Like it's not. I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like I'd done a bunch of these floor joists this way. Like when it was inconvenient, like for a retrim or something, you didn't want to get it back to the saw. I was like, dude, something's up with this saw. Like what's happening? And like Bosker was like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. Like the stupid thing. What did he say? I opened the door and the thing jumped out of the truck onto the concrete. I'm like, what? You dropped the saw? No, I didn't drop the saw. Ooh, I gotta get this thing plugged in. Hold please, hold please. I'm about to lose battery. Hold on, hold please, hold please. Oh, hopefully I don't lose stream. Oh God, it's gonna be close. Got a low battery indicator going. Hold please, hold please. Are we good? Did we get it saved? We're plugged in. I don't know. If the stream dies, my battery on my phone is no good. I do have it plugged in. I can't tell. Anyways, so yeah, he's like, no, I didn't drop the saw. The saw jumped out of the truck on its own. And I'm kind of like, what? That didn't make sense. But I guess if that's the cool story, bro, type of deal, I was like, okay, yeah, the saw jumped out. Oh. Whatever. There's a whole, I could talk about that story there, but I'm just going to go, okay, so unfortunately we were the victim of the saw jumping out of the truck on its own for no reason at all, and breaking but not being broken. Does that make sense? So we got this bent saw that's not broken, and nobody broke it, and it was not bent, and it was still working fine, except for it wouldn't cut straight lines. It was broken. And I kept saying, it's like, dude, I'm trying to build this whole house here. Can we just get a saw that just works? Like, I know it sucks. I know you bought a new saw. I know saws aren't free, but like sometimes in life when shit happens that's out of your control because the saw jumped out of the truck on its own and it's nobody's fault, it still needs to be replaced. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude, but like I got to cut a lot of boards and this thing is broken nuts, and I just kept going over and over and over, and I was freehand cutting everything, which trust me, I'm more than capable of cutting lines with a saw. I've been doing it my whole life. It's just even a professional like me is gonna wiggle, you know, 128th of an inch or a 64th of an inch every once in a while. Like it's that happens. And and just like, I think he got sick of me every day just being like, fuck this saw. Like I'm just screaming, fuck this saw. Like I was so pissed about it. And the other day I show up, he's like, I got something. I'm like, oh, what do you got? What do you got something, bud? And he's like, yeah. And like, we walk out, he's got a brand new saw. I was like, holy shit. So 3 months later, after me bitching for 3 months, you finally, and we just finished the floor system. Like, all the floor joists are in above the garage. It's like, so I put the whole floor system in my hand. Now you buy a brand new saw. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. That's nice. And he went with a Bosch. And it's a pretty cool saw. It's got some features the other one didn't. That's nice. And I was like, well, what do we do with this old saw? And like, I've fixed broken saws before, but like, like fixing a saw isn't really something you want to do when you're going to be using the saw the next day, because you can break the saw while fixing it and all sorts of bad stuff, or you got to buy new parts. So I generally don't like pound on and wrench on saws when I'm in the process of using said saws. He's like, you can have it. It's your saw now. I was like, well, it was my saw anyways, but anywho, I took the saw home and I was like, two things. The plate was bent, so if you can imagine, here's a circular saw. You know how you can go like that with the bottom plate to make the blade less deep, right? It adjusts. Like using your imagination here. Well, the saw had landed like that, and it bent the plate. So this plate was coming up, and it was jacked. And because this plate was pushed in, when I would guide, the saw would dive in. That's what was happening. So this plate was in, and it was horseshoed. It was pretty effed up, not gonna lie. Which led me to believe that it had probably been dropped more than once, but we're not gonna get into that. So I was like, well, unfortunately, that's pretty far gone, but whatever. But the power cord thing is like, I mean, I've dropped a saw before. Dropping saws is a thing that happens, and they do bend like that. I've never bent a plate before, but I've had the plate go askew, and I have fixed it before. I've also destroyed a saw trying to fix it by like hitting it with a hammer trying to bend it back out. Like, it's a risk you take. Like, you're not supposed to beat on your saw to fix it, but like sometimes in life when your saw is broken and you've already given up on it, you hit it with a hammer. I suppose you might be able to buy replacement parts. I have no idea. Anyways, try to get this cleaned out. I was like, well, I'm gonna give him a call and see, like, what's the deal? Like, why did nothing ever happen, or what's going on, or what's the deal with this warranty thing? Like, is this a real warranty? Like, I don't know how it even works. And I called Matabo Hitachi up, and I was like, yo, back in December, I tried to warranty this thing. I sent you an email, I never heard back. I don't know if it was, I mean, realistically, probably what happened is, like, the email never went out, I guess, but, like, I sent the thing. Like, I don't know. I'm not an email expert. Like, I don't do email for a living, so, like, could have been my fault. Don't know. Don't care. I've dealt with warranty stuff with companies. Like, they just said, send us a text message, and that seemed to work pretty good. But like this company, they wanted an email or whatever. Don't know. Tried it. Didn't work. Or something happened. I don't know what happened, but something happened. So I called them up. Like, yeah. And they're like, go to the website and like fill out the warranty form thing, and then send the pictures or whatever. And I was like, well, I kind of sent you guys the stuff. And the person on the phone was like, who'd you send it to? And like, they got all pissy, or it was weird for a second. Who was it? I want to know who was that. Who didn't respond back to you? I want to know their name. I was like, dude, I don't know their name. I don't memorize anybody's name. I don't know your name. I don't know anybody's name. I'm just telling you what I did and what didn't work out. I was like, I'll try this and see what happens. So like, I do the thing, I type it in, I get a response, an automated response, like, okay, here's how we're going to solve it. We're going to send you a prepaid shipping label, and you're going to ship us your saw. And then we're going to look at your saw, and if we determine that the saw has damage to it that's covered under warranty, we will fix your saw, and we will ship it back to you free of charge. And I was like, fantastic. Then I keep reading the fine print. It says, if we determine that your saw is not damaged under warranty, we will give you the option of having us fix your saw for a fee, and then you can pay to have it shipped back to you. And I was like, that's weird. So like, if you decide that I broke that power cable, I have to pay to get my saw back. Because what I would do is like just cut the end off and put the screw one on, right? That's what I would do if I had to fix it myself. But once again, you sold me a warranty. Let's warranty this thing, I guess. Even though it's bent, I mean, whatever. Worst case scenario, I could pull the cable out of the You know, if you fix my cable, I'll have at least a fixed cable type of deal for the next saw, whatever. Sometimes cables get busted. So I called him up. I was like, I need some clarification on this. Like, you really gonna hold my saw hostage if you decide that I broke the cable? Like, how does that work? Like, it seems a little insane to ship a cable or a full saw back and forth across the country for a power cable. It's like, can you just like look at the photograph and just say, yes, that needs warranted, or sorry, sir, you screwed that up, and just tell me that? And once you tell me that, if it's I screwed up, I'll say, okay, thank you, and I'll just move on with my life. And if you say, yeah, no, that's a bad power cord, we should fix it, can you just put one in an envelope and send it to me? I can screw a power cord in, like, trust me. Like, it's not a rocket ship. Like, it's not that complicated to put power cords and power saws. Like, I can figure that out. Like, if there's a dude at Metabo that can figure that out, I can figure that out. And the guy was like, and I kind of told him the story about, like, you know, we've ran your saws since last century. Like, I have a whole set of Metabo or Hitachi cordless tools. They're the old generation. We don't use them anymore. We ran them. We were happy with them. It's just basically, they became essentially obsolete just because technology changed. It wasn't because the tools sucked. The tools are really good. And they actually still are good. It just, the battery styles changed. Whatever. Anyways, I told the guy that. And I said, and here's the thing. This cable got so bad that Boss Man went and bought a Bosch and said, screw Metabo, we're moving on with our lives. Like, we've been running it for a while now. He didn't like that. He's like, whoa, what? You went and bought a new saw and you've been running these for decades? I was like, yeah, no, we've been running Hitachi/Metabo for decades. Like, not 10 years, for decades. Like, lots of years. And the guy's like, no, we're sending you a cable. I'll just send you a new cord. Forget it. You're not sending shit back to us. I'll just send you one in the mail. And I was like, cool, man. Sounds like you're stepping up and you're doing your thing there. You're gonna warranty it that way. That's cool with me. A couple days later, I come home. There's a box in my driveway, like a giant box. I'm like, ooh, what do we got here? And end up checking my email. And the guy's like, I'm just sending you a new saw. He's like, I want to make this right. You guys have ran Hitachi for years. I don't want you to be running competitor saws. We're just sending you a brand new saw. And I was like, whoa, that's nuts. You're just gonna send me a saw? And I look at this box in my driveway. It's like, that box is way too big for a saw. And I cracked the box open, and inside the box is a brand new Hitachi saw, or Metabo, exactly like the one that we owned. And then he threw in, and I think he had done a demo with it because it had been ran through a piece of wood, one of their new brushless 6 1/4 battery-powered mini saws. I was like, what? So yeah, now I got like saws coming out my ass. So we got the new Bosch, we got the new Metabo corded, we got the new Metabo cordless, and then I spent 2 days tearing that other saw apart, like completely disassembling it, and sitting there fine-tuning with a hammer and an anvil, bending everything back, and I got it pretty close back to perfect. I got to go out and test it to see if it still works. But yeah, got so many goddamn saws, and I don't know what to do with them all. So those videos will be coming up. Something to look forward to. Ooh, perfect. But that was kind of crazy. Just the whole. Oh man, what is going on with this waffle maker today? It's like sticking right here real bad. I don't understand why. I keep oiling it. I got like micro particles. Damn, that's hot. Oh, what a disaster. I don't get, why are you sticking there? Why? Bad waffle maker. Well, there might be a little schmutz inside that one. Let me get that cleaned out. I mean, whatever. There was like some stuck waffle inside that divot there. I think that's what it was. It was creating extra extra friction, if you will. Oh man, I've gone way too long today. All right, yeah, we'll finish the waffle cooking at a different time. And the juice making, I guess that didn't make the cut today either. Spent too much time baking potatoes. I never had my light in the right place either. That's fun. All right, so yeah, so right now look how low they sit. I need to get them. They need to sit there. I think they're too wide too. Like I don't even know what's going on with these glasses. I'm going with more eye protection, I guess. I don't know. Got a little detail on the side there. Yeah. Whatever. All right. Well, let's see to this one. The dog got a little bit of breakfast there. Thanks for watching the stream and listening to me bitch about shit. Oh, they fall. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck with your glasses. All right. Thanks for tuning in. If you watch the re-upload, it's almost as good as a live one. It's supposed to get warm midweek. It's going to be shitty the first part of the week. Whatever. No, thank anybody that. Thanks for tuning in. Don't step on your glasses. I will catch you later. Peace. No scratches, though. That's nice. I like the no scratches so far.